चलो वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Thought I'd wait for Gurjeevan Singh to join as well, but I don't know what's going on with the connection. So, Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's doing well in this time. I know mental health can be crazy, especially when you've got no one to speak to, you've got a lot going on at home, and it's hard to have an offload because usually Guru Sahib Ji Sangat, the Guru Sahib Ji themselves is the offload. So, Mahar's Kirpa, we're still blessed to have Sangat like this though. We're still blessed to be able to speak virtually or have divans online and stuff. So Mahar's Kirpa, we can all join in with this. And Guru Sahib's Kirpa, Dinal, we've been blessed now with the topic of journey into people who will know Das personally. And just before we begin the journey into Sikhi, hopefully Gurjeevan Singh you can join as well. I'm not too sure what's going on with the connection. But Das has kind of two sides of the Sikhi. There was like a dark, depressed, anxious side where it was hard to speak, it was hard to even interact with anyone. And that was all while Das was in school. So I'm actually 19 now. And you could say my journey kind of started when I was about 16. And that was all during school, the dark, depressed, the really anxious side. And there was a second side. And the second side was definitely the part after school, the part where I started to do Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa, Sangat when I was meeting loads of amazing Gurmukhs, amazing Gursikhs. And that for me was the true journey, you could say, because that was where that depressed student, you could say, turned into this much happier, someone who looks like this, a much happier Amritari. And so we'll start off with that depressed side because it's important to think that sometimes, I think Gurkaran Singh Ji has joined as well.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ
Everything okay?
ਠੀਕ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ
Hanji, ਵਧੀਆ.
ਕਿਰਪਾ ਜੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ.
So I was just saying I was going to start off by talking about the school Sikhi that I was in because obviously that's where I met people like Arv G and stuff, and then move in towards the person that kind of is now, because that side of things is relatable to a lot of people. I was very depressed, I was very unhappy, and a lot of people can relate to depression and mental health. But how I got out of the Guru Sahib's Kirpa is probably the main topic, the main story. And so Mahar's Kirpa, hopefully we can go through that. So my journey kind of started when I was about 16, and that was when I was in year 11. And my school was always very much academics based. So when we were in year 11, we were doing our GCSEs, and I was always thinking, as school was always naturally pushing us, that you need to smash your GCSEs, you need to do so well, do anything you can. You need to study harder, eat this kind of food, smell this kind of thing to help your memory, all that kind of stuff. And so my mind was always inclined to getting the best results. Funnily enough, I then looked at our religion. I was like, what is Sikhism? What is this thing, this ism that I'm apparently part of? And I then started to type up how to get good results in Sikhism, because that's how desperate I was. And what happened was, when I did that, I typed into YouTube, and Jagraj Singh came up. And Jagraj Singh was talking about the power of Ardas. And I was thinking, whoa, Ardas, these are cool. So I can ask for good grades and I'll get them. And so what happened was, when I was asking for these grades, it kind of became a bit easier to study. And that had a knock-on effect, because as I kept getting better grades, I kept asking more. And so that, you could say, was the beginning, you could say, of a relationship with Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj Ji, because I kept asking and they kept delivering in their own way. And so that was all of year 11. When GCSEs finished Maharaj Kirpa, I ended up going back to the same school. And in year 12 was where Sikhi kind of started to take off, you could say. So during that time, when I was able to maybe progress in my Sikhi a little bit more, was a time when I started to watch so many more videos of basics, as many people have. And as I was watching more and more videos, I started to think, hold on, I don't just want to keep watching videos now, I want to meet this guy. And as we all have that launch inside us to meet Jagraj Singh in West London, especially as we all live so close, in year 12, we had this event called a scholars event. And what happened was, each week our school would encourage us to bring in one person who was from a professional background, whether it's a charity or something else, and come in and speak about what they do and kind of inspire people leaving from year 13 to go into those professions. So, and what the reason for that really, why we always to do it, because it would look good on our personal statements when we were going to apply to university. And I had nothing apart from just grades. I had nothing extracurricular. I couldn't be bothered. I was just too focused on the Sikhi side of things. And so what happened was I thought this is a good way to tick both boxes. So who did I get in touch with? I go in touch with Base of Sikhi. And I was like, can you come and do a talk? And I forgot that the talk is supposed to be about the charity, right? And I just told them to do a talk on Sikhi. So what happened was I was looking for Dilraj Singh to come, and out of nowhere, someone else comes called Gurjeevan Singh. And I'd never heard of Gurjeevan Singh like that. I never knew who he was. And then he walked to the door, and I was like, where's Dilraj Singh? And he was like, are you Dilraj Singh? He thought he was talking to a teacher, and I thought he was Dilraj Singh. So it was a massive confusion at the beginning. But when he came in, he did a talk for 1 hour, literally during our lunch. And after that, the bias for Sikhi started. I don't know what it was. It was probably just the basics that he was talking about. But the bias for Sikhi was so hard at that point, and I could not let go after that. After that talk, it was probably the talk that shouldn't have happened because it was supposed to be about the charity, not about Sikhi. But that changed everything. And after that, I was naturally like, whoa, I need to learn more. So I spoke to Pai Sabji, and they said that there was still Gatha going on Sundays. Obviously, Dilraj Singh at that time was not very well at all. So I thought, okay, we'll come and we'll see what happens. I kept coming. As I kept learning more, I was like, whoa, this is just, I cannot believe how much is here that I didn't know. I just couldn't believe that. I called myself a Sikh for so long, but I didn't do anything or know anything about what a Sikh is. And so as you kept coming there, you learn more about Sangat, you meet new people in Sangat, and that's where I met Bhai Gurjeevan Singh Ji. And when I met Bhai Gurjeevan Singh Ji, their Pitaji and their whole family do a Simran Diwan at their house. And this Simran Diwan is held every Thursday. And this was still during year 12. So during this period of time, as I was learning more about Sikhi, I was getting into something I didn't understand then. It was a lot of Bairag. It was so much Bairag because a lot of, you could say, past difficulties, things that I couldn't deal with maybe mentally, they were coming out in Bairag because I'd found a place of comfort, which is Guru Sahib Charan. And I didn't understand at the time. I just thought it was depression. I thought it was really just something that I couldn't explain. And what happened was, as I kept coming to basics, as I kept coming to Gatha, as I kept learning more about Sikhi, you were meeting people who were kind of carrying you along. And that was someone like Gurjeevan Singh Ji and their whole family. And that Thursday Simran that they used to have in the evening, it was such an informal way of just being able to come, do Kirtan, listen to Gatha. And at the time when we first came, there was no Gatha actually. It's funny about this. There was no Gatha, it was just Simran. I walked in there were 5 of us in there, and now there's like 20, 30 people each week. And the first time I walked in there, I was like, what is this? Like, is this Sikhi? What is this? Am I supposed to be here? Am I not supposed to be here? Do I come wearing like kurta pajama? What's going on? But when I met Gurjeevan Singh, he showed me that it's okay to be a kid in school and still be in Sikhi. And that for me was unheard of, because where I went to school, everyone there was clean shaven, drinking, eating meat in year 12, year 13, doing drugs, kind of stuff. And I was like, whoa, this is like, I've never seen someone in school living Sikhi. And that for me was a huge inspiration. So as time went on, kept coming to Thursday Simran, and that for me was such a crazy thing, because there were so many other kids there as well. They were all doing Kirtan and they were all just doing Simran. And I was like, whoa, this is next level. I've only thought like old Granthi Singhs are doing Simran and Kirtan in Gurdwaras. That's all you ever see. But when there's kids doing it, you feel inspired. And so as time went on, we kept coming there. And then I remember this day so clearly. At the end of Simran one day, Bhai Gurjeevan Singh Ji's Pitaji, Bhai Harjeet Singh Ji, stood up in front of the whole Sangat and said, Sat Singh Ji, just to let you know, in the coming weeks, Sant Baba Karandeep Singh Ji and Sant Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji will be coming to the house. And my eyes just lit up. I was like, what? I cannot believe, like, I was coming here a few weeks ago, and I'm just coming here for Simran to be inspired people like little kids doing Simran here. And all of a sudden, there's Mahapur coming to the south. I had no clue. I was so flabbergasted at that point. Because when I was in year 12, and I was going through all of this, year 13 as well, for me, a lot of biyad, a lot of like support came from learning about Mahapur, learning about how they managed to do so much abhyas, how they managed to get so close to Guru Sahib Ji. And so I naturally wanted to start doing things that they would do. So I remember I would go into like Google and type in Sant Jeevanis and pull out like Sikh Naya and all these different pustaks and then start to copy. Obviously, I did not do very well at all. They're doing like 200, 300 japis. I couldn't even do one at the time. I didn't know how to pronounce anything. I would just listen to it. I'll get tired. But for me, it was like, I'm shooting for something. I'm aiming for something now. I'm trying to walk towards something bigger than myself. And so I was always in awe of Gurmukhs. I'm always in awe of Brahmgyanis from all the way through year 12 and year 11. And so when Harjeet Singh Ji said that they're coming to the house, I was like, that swept me off my feet. I was like, mate, I'm never stop coming here now. I'm going to come here every single week. And it happened like that as well. The prem for Sangat started to grow so much. And when we then met them, that was when a lot of things changed, because I went from someone who never understood what Bairag was, never understood that Sikhi isn't just something you need to keep inside you and not express in the way of reading Gurbani, listen to Katha, listen to Kirtan, and then changing the way you're outside. Because at that point, I didn't understand how I could go from the Sangat I used to have and how I could move towards Sangat like Gurmukhs and Amritaris. And that was where the conflict came for me. It was an inner conflict because I wanted to move away from them, but I felt like my life was so involved with all those people. And so I was split between two. I was split so massively. And then Mahaprabhu showed me, like Sant Baba Karandeep Singh Ji, that you can still live Sikhi and live the environment that you're in. You don't have to detach yourself completely, because Sikhi is all how you carry yourself through your life. Otherwise, we could be sitting in mountains, we could be sitting away from so many different people. But they showed me that true fun. And that allowed me to, that conflict within me completely broke away. And I was so glad that I'd met someone like that. And they also showed so much love, so much prem, that it was like, whoa, like how can someone show you this much love? And I don't even know like where they live. I've never seen their house. I don't know who their parents are. Like, why are they showing me so much love? At the beginning, you have all these weird thoughts. Like, why do they like me for? What's the point? And then as that kept happening, they came for about a few weeks and then they went. And I was like, that was one of the biggest shocks to me ever, because I had no clue what to do now. Like, I'd met one of the most beautiful, amazing people I'd ever seen, and all of a sudden they'd left. And I was thinking, whoa, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to cope now? And then a few weeks later, so they left in July, they went back as they came for a tour. And then a few months later, I started meeting up with all the Muscat Sangat, Guru Sahib's Kirpa. And they are amazing people. As Aap ji has seen, there's so many Gurmukhs here. They were doing these talks and Aap ji doing so much seva. And these Gurmukhs, like, I just couldn't believe, I was so in awe of them. They lived all the way in Leicester and we live all the way in West London. But for me, it was like, I don't care where you live. You could live in like Antarctica. I'm coming to do your darshan, right? And that for me, because they were so amazing, for me, I was like, no, there's no way that I can let go of these people. So naturally, Guru Sahib's Kirpa, the prem, the pyar for that Sangat kept building and building and building. And then randomly, again, it was by Harjeet Singh Ji. He said, by Harjeet Singh Ji then said, after Simran again, he pulled over this one person. And I was thinking, I've seen this guy before on the first tour, but I'm not too sure who he is. And they said, Sal Sangat Ji, Gurjeevan Singh Ji will be doing Japji Sahib Gatha in January. And for me, I was like, whoa, hold on. You've given me Babaji's then, and then from their Sangat, now you're giving someone who used to live in Leicester, moved down to London so we can keep connecting with Guru Sahib Ji. And I was thinking, I could not believe someone with that much gyan and someone as amazing as them was like literally 10, 15 minutes away from us. So they started to come to Thursday Simran as well. And as we kept coming to Thursdays, as we kept listening to Kathas, we kept seeing the changes in the whole Sangat, because the Sangat went from about 5, 6, maybe 10 people to like 20, 30, 40 people. Like, it wasn't just me that was seeing this. A lot of people were seeing this. And the Gatha wasn't just changing our lives, it was changing the way we saw Sikhi. I was learning so much just from being there for 1.5 hours, 1 hour, that it ended up being my whole evening. That we'd come at 4 o'clock and we wouldn't leave till 4 the next morning, get phone calls from my parents, people telling us, listen, you need to go home now. Do you want lifts? All these kind of things. We were like, no, I'm staying. I want to learn more. And what happened was, while that was going on, I didn't understand, but all of that negative, that bipolar, I had post-traumatic stress disorder, I'd split personality as well, I was severely depressed, I was so anxious, all of that was just negative energy. And listening to Katha, listening to Kirtan, doing Sadh Sangat, doing Seva, all of that negative energy tended to like beat us. It turned into so much positive energy that spurred me on, Guru Sahib's Kirpa, into my Sikhi. And so as that was going on, I was seeing changes in myself and I couldn't believe what was happening. It was happening before my eyes. All of a sudden, I'm meeting these people who treat me like their son, treat me like their brother. They give me so much love. They give me free food. Well, I couldn't believe that. I come to Thursday Simran to listen to Katha, listen to Kirtan, and all of a sudden they chuck like plates of pizza at me. I was thinking, this is the best thing ever. I've never seen anything so great. And they give me all this stuff. I'm thinking, wow, it's so amazing. And as they're doing this, time goes on, learning from people like Gyani Gurjeevan Singh Ji, learning from all the amazing Sangat like Gurjeevan Singh Ji and all the Muscat Sangat. I then finally got to a point where this meat-eating, Mona, whose whole family's never been into Sikhi. Like Das a few weeks ago or a few months ago was going through the whole of the family lineage I can remember, and there's not a single Amritari in the whole lineage, not from here or in India, no one. And I was thinking, as it was going on, I kept thinking like, how is this happening? How is this happening to someone like me? I can't believe this. My life was so different just a year ago. And by this time, year 13 was all done. I'd finished school. And this is when I started to meet my Babajis. This is when I started to meet people like Gurjeevan Singh. This is when I started to come to Simran so much more. By the time I met Gyaniji, etc., it was naturally that bias inside thinking, hold on, bro, what are you waiting for now? Like, we all that time comes in our lives, like, what are you waiting for now? Like, Gas had come, Panch Kakar had come, Guru Sahib's Kirpa. That person on the outside decided to look different. On the inside, he wasn't feeling that down, depressed person anymore. And in the end, it was like, listen, you changed everything. Now it's time to change the head as well. So Guru Sahib's Kirpa, with the power of the Katha, with the power of the Satsang, with the blessings of so many people, that Das would not be here today. Definitely, like, I was severely suicidal for 2-3 years, definitely. From the age of 16 to 18, I was severely suicidal, so badly. And I honestly, when I look back at my life, Satsang definitely saved me. They literally saved me from dying. There was no way that I would be at this point, even probably talking or breathing, because the whole of Satsang has definitely saved us. So the first thing before Das goes on is a huge namaskar and everyone's Satsang in their charan. Okay, without them, there'll be no way I'd even be sitting here doing this. But so when the Katha happened, everything happened naturally. By about April time last year, no, not last, 2020? Yeah, last year, April, Guru Sahib's Kirpa on Vaisakhi, Das then was like, this is it, enough's enough. Dilraj Singh of the whole time is gone. It's time for the new one. And that was, you could say, the journey into where everything is at now. So I know it was probably quite, it's like, wow, what happened? There's such a big, quick turnaround from someone who, if someone knows me from beforehand and sees me now, it's like, what happened? But the main thing was Satsang had saved us. And not just saved us, they taught someone as well. There's a difference between saving someone and the difference between teaching them how to keep on saving themselves. And Satsangat is not someone who just saves you, they carry on saving you forever as well. Because I know if I leave Satsangat now, I'm going back to the person I was, 100%. Guru Sahib's Kirpa, they've got their hand, I don't know where they've got their hand, around my neck, around my arm, around my legs, but they've got their hand on me and they will not let go. Because I'm telling you, the inside of me, that home, that hankar parya hua Dilraj just wants to go back. But Guru Sahib Ji and the whole Satsangat is so dayalu that they will not let go. So for Das personally, the biggest thing that they learned was Satsanga changed everything, because there would be no way that I could even learn an inch of Sikhi without coming into Satsanga and doing Seva or doing Simran, and that's all blessed by Gurmukhs. So as I mentioned before, Thursday Simran was a huge part of my life, and by Gurjeevan Singh Ji, hopefully can expand on how he got to the point where he met Das as well, and how he got from where he was maybe as a child to where he is now as well. So I'll pass over to Gurjeevan Singh Ji. I'm still speaking so much.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Sangat Ji. In terms of my Sikhi journey, it was a lot more of a gradual sort of thing compared to Dilraj Paji. Obviously, you can see in his journey, within from 16 to 19, it's like a quick turnaround. He's turned into a Kathavachik, joining bare people to Guru Sahib's Charan, like changing other people's lives as well in such a short amount of time, innit? But for myself, it was more of a gradual thing. So I was, from my upbringing, it was more of a Punjabi sort of cultural kid. And then as I grew up, you come more into Sikhi, and it's Sangat that's changed me. Sangat that's created, like, it's the environment, the family. When I grew up, I was more into Punjabi stuff. Like, I used to listen to all the music and stuff. I wasn't into necessarily bad Sangat, but like, I'm not who I am today without the Sangat in it. And the biggest point in my life where Sangat changed me was obviously when, basics of Sikhi, like joining in the Katha, Jugraj Chacha Ji, they wanted another person that joined so many people to Guru Sahib's Charan in it, like changed so many people's lives. And without Guru Sikhs like Aap Ji, Jugraj Chacha Ji, Kuljit Chacha Ji, Mahapurush Baba, Karandeep Singh Ji, Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji, like life would be so different. And it was basics of Sikhi, man. And then that developed like this bias. And then when Jugraj Chacha Ji became ill, there was more of a bias. Like, if that can happen to someone like that can get ill, like what could happen to us in it? Someone like rubbish people who don't even like miss the whole purpose of life in it. And that's where the sort of Thursday Simran flex came from. And that, even when that started, that was just a few people who came together once a week, and we just did Vaheguru Simran, and Maharaj Kirpa Dinal, it just it's like grown and grown and grown, and it carries on growing. Even now, it's got to a point where it's just carrying on, and Guru Sahib's just keeping us in their charan, and it's just, it's Sangat. That's the main thing for me that I take from Sikhi. Obviously, Seva Simran, everything's important in it, but Sangat, you know, like especially with Aapji, like the Singhs, like there's a brotherhood in it, there's a family.
Definitely.
And even that as well as the dar of Maharaj, but that family, that brotherhood as well, you have dar in it. Like, I don't want to disappoint my brothers, man. I can't let my brothers down in it. Those are my brothers, those are my sisters, bro. I got to do everything for them in it. Everything in my power to keep them happy, to do seva of them. You know, that's the main thing that's spurring me on in it. Like that dar of letting everybody down, as in my brotherhood, like my Sikhi, my Sangat, my family in it. It's just, yeah, I can't, it's hard to put into words properly in it. Where it's just Thursday Simran Sangat, Baba Karandeep Singh Ji. I originally met Baba Ji and the Musket Sangat in the 2017 Mata Sahib Korji Smagam in India. We actually didn't even go there for the Smagam. The Smagam was just sort of like an added bonus. We went there because my Masi Ji was getting married. And Baba Ji had done my Masi Ji's Rista. And that's how we actually got to know all of the Sangat. And when we met Baba Ji, obviously I had Jan Pashan with all the Sangat from Leicester, because I grown, like, had my shuktiyan there always. My parents, well, my mum's from Leicester, so I've grown up partly in Leicester, innit? So I had Jan Pashan with the Sangat, but seeing them in India and in Babaji's charan, Guru Sahib's charan, it was something else, innit? And that experience in India, that was my third time going to India, but it's by far the best time I'd ever had in India, innit? And Babaji is just something else. My Baba Karandeep Singh Ji, Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji. I don't know what it is, it's funny, innit? I don't know what it is about Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji, but they just got such a like grandfatherly feel to them, innit? When you just see them, you get so happy, you don't want to leave them. And
so much prem.
Guru
I don't know
Sahib,
what it is. It's just like, it's crazy.
bruv, trust me, man. Guru Sahib just so much kirpa, man. The Sangat is what keeps me on the straight and narrow, man. I'm not like, the Sangat is just everything, bro. There's no doubt about it, man. Sangat do everything for me, and I would do everything for Sad Sangat, innit? That's the main part of my Sikhi. Guru Sahib like bless me with you lot, and that is my Sikhi. You guys are my Sikhi as well, innit? If that makes sense. Guru Sahib is just amazing, man. As Thursday Simran, week in, week out, every week, and without a miss. I don't think there's been a single week within the past, I think maybe 4 or 5 years, where Thursday Simran hasn't happened and Guru Sahib hasn't blessed us with Sangat in our house. Up until recently, obviously, with the lockdown. But then even then, we're doing Thursday Simran through Zoom and Facebook Live and whatnot, so it's still going on in it. Guru Sahib's keeping us strong. Sangat's still getting together. Naam Jab's still happening. Guru Sahib's just beyond. There's so much kirpa, man. And it's just, yeah, it's because of Thursday Simran as well. I've had constant Sangat in my life, week in, week out. Since Thursday Simran started, it's just like a continuous like flood of Sangat in it. And sometimes it's so overwhelming. You're just like, wow, man, like, I'm so lucky in it. It's like, so it's such a blessing. Like these people who allow me to like touch their feet and just like rub it all over my forehead or whatnot in it. Like these people, like they're so amazing, man. They keep. But it's honestly, man, like it's all Sangat, bro. Seriously, Gurbani, Sangat, and Simran, man.
I agree.
That's all it is. Especially in Thursday Simran as well, because of Thursday Simran, we got a lot of people coming and going. A lot of people coming and going. Family. It's a family vibe, innit? It is family. That's what it is. I could happily say that I trust any of you lot just as much as I trust my biological family. Like there's no doubt about it, innit? Family is family, bro. You lot smash it, innit? You've kept me on the straight and narrow, bro. Like Guru Sahib, I was so blessed to be like blessed with you guys, man. All of you, Harjeet Chacha ji, I can see you posting hearts, man. You as well, man. Everyone, it's everyone, bro. All of this Sangat is so amazing. Like it's just like I can't. It's just Sangat.
Gurjeevan Singh Sahib ji Maharaj ji on Amrit Sanchar Sakhi, when Daya Singh ji had got the batta in their hand, and Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji Maharaj ji got down on one knee, and they said, "Ke minnu Amrit Shakao ne from Akal Purkh's hukum to give das Amrit as well." And it's funny because when Pai Daya Singh ji asked that question, कि Maharaj, who are we to shakal Amrit? But if you've given us a bachan to, then we have to. But what are you going to give? Because we've all given something. It's the same question I asked myself. I'm thinking, I've been in the Sikhi now for 2 years. I've gone from 16 to 18, never touched antidepressants, never seen a counselor, nothing. And now that Guru Sahib Ji changed me from the suicidal, wanted to kill myself person all the time, how can I not pay back Guru Sahib Ji for saving me? And that was a question I asked myself. Singh, what are you going to give yourself now? What are you going to give to Guru Sahib Ji? And it's when you walk into Amrit Center and think, that's it. I'm not giving this much money. I'm not giving this peta here. I'm not giving that here. I'm giving my whole body. I'm giving everything I possibly am. That was for me the biggest thing. Was that's it. No more now. No more Dilraj that used to be there before. It's Dilraj Singh now. It has to be this way. Because Guru Sahib Ji in inni larger kisi dasidi that it was only right that I give the rest of this janam and Guru Sahib Ji kirpa karan all the rest of the janams that I may be in, any janams in the past, that forever and ever in Guru Sahib Ji's charan. That's the biggest thing, is that you keep finding that prem, that pyar in Sadh Sangat. And that is why it's really important that we understand that even though we can't get Guru Sahib Ji's physical darshan now, who knows if we can or can't. Some people may have a surupa at home, but for the most part, people probably can't. It's important to understand that you can become your own Sadh Sangat as well. Gurbani is like Guru Sahib is holding onto your arm, okay? Maharaj says in Sukhmani Sahib, Brahm Gyani Ka Naam Parivar. Okay, if we look at the Mahapurukhs like Sant Baba Karndi Singh Ji, like so many Anek Mahapurukh, Sant Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji, any Mahapurukh you look at, what did they do? Brahm Gyani Ka Naam Parivar. The Brahm Gyani, that Mahapurukh, what is their Parivar? What's their family? Naam is Gurbani. And even in this time where it's so hard now to see physically people, it's maybe so hard to get Guru Sahib's darshan, we can still read the Gurbani. We can still read Gurbani and still connect to Guru Sahib Ji.
Maharaj even says themselves as well. Khalsa Mero Roop Hai Khas in it. We've got so many things at our disposal now. We've got Zoom, we've got whatever in it.
Right.
Just because you can't see each other physically, don't like lose touch with each other in it.
That's it.
Carry on, bruv.
Marriage is there 24/7. It's just about the person who cares, huh? And it's like thinking about it, no matter how many mistakes we've made, no matter what happens, it's always important to understand that without Guru Sahib Ji's meher, nothing's going to happen. We have to please Guru Sahib Ji. And even in this time, it's a massive test for us. How will we keep pleasing Guru Sahib Ji? How will we keep that prem going for Maharaj? And that's going to keep happening when we keep reading Gurbani. Nothing changes. That Nityanem was there for even times like this, times when we have nothing to do, times when we have loads of things to do. That's really important that we keep on smashing as much as we can, and as much as we physically can, keep connecting Guru Sahib Ji, because in times of adversity, that's when your character builds the most. Because when everything goes back to normal, Guru Sahib Ji will look and think, Bhai Sikha, like we gave you so much time, and what have you done with it? What have you done with that time? How have you used it towards Guru Sahib Ji? So the most important thing is whatever you guys are doing, I know it can be really, really hard. It can be tough not seeing people. It can be tough. Maybe the littlest things are probably annoying you, irritating you. Just keep remembering Guru Sahib is Ang Sang Sahai. Maharaj is always with us. Guru Sahib is always with us in ways like this. The Sadh Sangat are there. Actually, it was funny. It was Sant Baba Karndi Singh Ji. When we went to someone's house, they said themselves, okay, we were sitting down and then out of nowhere, they just told this crazy Sakhi. And they said, there was once a Gurmukh who went up to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji and said, Maharaj Ji, what do you do when you're happy with someone? And Maharaj said, oh, I send Panj Singh, right? No, sorry, they said, I send one Gurmukh with you. And they said, okay. So what do you do when you're really, really happy with someone? And they said, then I send 2 Gursikhs to the person's house. And they said, okay. They said, what do you do when you're really, really, really happy with someone? And then Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj said, I said Panj Singh to the house. And then he was also trying to be a bit clever. And then he said, okay, Maharaj, okay, I get that. Panj Singh is your form. But what do you do when you're really, 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 really happy with someone? And then Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji said, I send the whole Sadh Sangat to the house. And for us, that was like, whoa. Like, in my life, going from someone who was always just around people who drink, eat meat, cut hair, listen to Punjabi, Ghane 24/7, like that's all I would do. Like our nickname now is Panj Baniya, 1 in the evening, 1 before we go to sleep. My whole nickname was Pangra all day. That's all I would do in school. That's all I would do. It's not like Pangra 24/7. That was it. And all my friends were doing
whatnot, yeah.
That's it, man. All we were doing 24/7, doing that same stuff. And my whole family was like that as well. So when I was like, whoa, Maharaj just sent Sangat in this like low das, like in their charan, Maharaj is allowed us to do seva, do simran, do sangat. I just couldn't believe it. And for me, it was like, again, that Mahapurukh had taught us that. But again, it was Sadh Sangat. He was holding our hand again. And it was such a huge blessing to think that where would we be without Sadh Sangat? And it's so important that we keep doing that now. We keep doing that satsang with the Guru Sahib Ji, because without them, it's going to be really, really, really hard for us to carry on Kamayan Gursikhi. And without Guru Sahib Ji, there's no Gursikhi, is there? It's a Guru Sikhi, it's Guru Sahib Ji Sikhi. And we've got to keep Kamayan it, we've got to keep earning it. So I think, obviously, that Gurjeevan Singh will probably tell you himself that the way he's seen Thursday Simran change for him and how it's changed people while he was there. Like, I walked in with a Ramal and now I'm tying with the star and a Guru Sahib Ji Kirpa. Like, he can
I still remember how many people have had lessons here, like how to tie the star on Thursday evenings after Simran. It's Kirpa, man.
All of us, I've got videos. So there was
even then, like everything that happened on Thursday Simran, if you imagine, it's all down to Sangat, man, as well, again, innit? Like Bibi Prableen called, it was Prableen Penji who actually started Simran with my mum as well, innit? Like, you would never, like, look wise, you would, if you saw Prableen Penji, you wouldn't think that she was someone like that, innit?
Yeah.
But you see someone like, bruv, like, you hear her Kirtan, it's amazing, man. And then you go on and you like listen, she's got so many Sakhi, like, Sangat is amazing, bruv. And even when you think you know someone, you don't know them, man. And that's why it's so important to keep in contact with each other now as well, innit? So, like, don't lose that touch, man. Parent talking, innit? Sangat is like so important,
definitely, man. Like the truthful satsang that you start to see as well when you're experiencing it and you're doing it enough. Because when we kept doing it enough, Marid Kirpa, then what happened? Like Gyani Ji came, and then when Gyani Ji came, then bang! All of a sudden, the whole Musket Sangat. And when we met the Musket Sangat, it was like, whoa, who are these people? Like, it wasn't just then no one was doing each other's satkar. People from outside were doing their satkar. I'm thinking, like, where does this come from? Where have these people come from? I've never seen them before. And they were just amazing. Like, when meeting them, correlate directly with doing more abhyas, doing more seva, doing more simran. And I was like, I've never really spoken to you guys, but I've met you guys, and my life is changing even more. There's just so much more prem for Sikhi knowing them. And obviously, having a Mahapurik as the head of, you could say, of your Sangat, of your life, is so much more different to maybe doing it yourself. But that definitely changed a lot when we met Musket, and how much Musket has done, how much seva they've allowed us to get involved with. Like, someone like me who's got nothing to do with the creative side at all. I did maths, chemistry, physics, economics. Like, that's got nothing to do with making a movie, right? But somehow Babaji is so dayalu that they managed to find a place for all of us to do seva in this movie, right? Whether that's a stool, whether that's even just doing a speech, whether that's creating something, everyone's got a place, right? And that for me again was crazy, because I felt so out of place in school when I was like, whoa, I'm calling myself a Sikh, but I'm not doing anything a Sikh does. In fact, I feel out of place when I go Gurdwara now, because when I'm at the Gurdwara, I'm doing nothing that I should be doing there. So why am I not changing? And that was for me a big thing as well. That meeting Musket Sangat really changed a lot for me. And obviously now they're doing crazy things. There's so much going on City Sevale side. There's so much happening with the movie as well. Maris Kirpa, that would be amazing to see. And like all done by the Sangat as well. And we've all had a part to play in it somehow, whether it's a penny, a pound, 100,000 pound, whether you've given weeks in India, whether you've managed to do anything, hand out leaflets, everyone's had their part. And it's a massive blessing that we've all been able to do this seva together. And it's like, it's just...
Even in terms of the movie, man, even like, there's so many sevas as well, but even Maharaj Babaji have made it so accessible for everybody as well, the movie, as in terms of like, there's no barriers, man. You can't say that you can't understand the movie, or like, Babaji's like done so much seva, they put so much effort into the movie, they've made it in so many different languages. Like, obviously myself, I'm quite lucky from a young age, with my BBG in my house, like, I've been taught Punjabi, I had to speak Punjabi with her, I had no other option in it, she couldn't speak English. There's a lot of people right now who don't know Punjabi or who don't know English, whatever, like, wherever your language barriers are, innit? But Babaji done so much kirpa and even like put so much effort in themselves on their own part that they made it a multilingual movie, like so many different languages is coming out in. So nobody can say that they can't understand it, and everybody can connect to it and, you know, get back to our Mataji, innit? Like, it's sick, man.
That's the thing, innit? Like, when you meet, for instance, I've never ever really even knew about Mata Sahib Kaur before meeting Musket Sangat. That for me was like there is someone there who is my mom, and now I don't see her every day, but she probably has so much prem for someone as low as me, because I'm her son, right? And she's praying for all of us, not because I'm special, but because I'm just her son, right? Whether a child is good to their parent or not, a parent always will provide. A parent still always has unconditional love. And it's crazy, because it's like, it's amazing to think that there was someone there who was always holding my hand throughout my childhood, throughout who knows how many lives were holding my hand through. And it was so amazing to just think that it was someone there that I could finally find out about, finally connect to. And then it just reminds me of times where Guru Sahib Ji has always done the racha of someone. They've always kept up. Guru Sahib Ji has always kept up their side of the promise when it comes to, I'll give you everything, even if you won't even look towards me, even if you won't move towards me. Because there was a time when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji was in Lahore, and there was Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji. And Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji was a government contractor, and they used to make bricks for the government. And when they would make these bricks, their first person that they would supply them all to was the government. They'd make them, send them straight off there. And Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji was someone who had a lot of prem for Sahib Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, and it was amazing to think that when that was happening there, I was listening to the Sakhi and I was thinking, hold on, there was prem for Guru Sahib Ji. They used to have a job, and then what happened afterwards is where I connected the most, because Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji used to have so much prem for Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. They did beinti to them that please come to my home, and they'd opened a new way of making bricks. And they said to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, please bless these bricks so that they become sturdy enough for me to sell on and make loads of money. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji said, "Theek hai, we're coming." And then they sent the whole Sangat there. They came themselves and they sent the whole Sangat there as well. And what happened was, Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji had set up a free kitchen. They'd set like a langar kind of thing. And it was for everyone to come and everyone to eat. And the aim was that Guru Sahib Ji at the end, they'd make Guru Sahib Ji so happy that Maharaj Ji would then give them a bachan. And what happened was, all the Sangat arrived as per usual, and as time went on, there was a lot of Sangat around the area that were coming as well to see Guru Sahib Ji and eat food, but there was some homeless people who had no food, and then they came to this langar, and what happened was, Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji had servants, and when this homeless person came to get food from the langar, the servant said, "You can't come in," and the homeless person was like, "I don't understand, why can I not come in? This is a langar, it's for everyone." And the servant said, no, you're homeless, you're a beggar, you can't come here. This is only for people who have jobs, these are people who live in their homes. You can't come here, you've got dirty clothes, no one wants to be around you. And the homeless beggar at that point was so upset, but he got infuriated. And he stood there and he said, the curse of a beggar never ever goes unfulfilled. I'm cursing all of your bricks, and none of them will come out strong. They will all come out half-made, and you'll never be able to sell them as well. And then saying this, he walked off. And these servants are thinking, what's going on? Like, he's just given this curse. I don't know if it's true or not. What's going on? So what they did, they went back to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji. And when the servant got back to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji had already given a bachan saying that your bricks will be beautiful. They will sell everywhere. And when they told Maharaj about this bachan that the beggar had given, Guru Sahib Ji couldn't believe. Sorry, it was Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji couldn't believe what happened, because he'd got two bachans now. One bachan was from Guru Sahib Ji, one bachan was from a beggar. They both have their power in different ways. And when he spoke to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji said, it is true. The curse of a beggar cannot go untold. It has to be fulfilled. However, the word of Guru Sahib Ji also goes fulfilled as well, right? So what happened was, this is why Guru Sahib Ji, they look to someone's large so much, and they always preserve someone's honor. Maharaj said, okay, your bricks will turn out half filled. They will always turn out the way they should be, in terms of half broken. They'll not be prepared properly. But because I gave the bachan, they will sell for the same price. How crazy is that? Like, Maharaj, even though they know someone made a mistake, they still gave so much prem and satkar it was due. So what happened was, this is how much prem Guru Sahib has still. Over the coming days, Maharaj made it rain in Lahore so much that all the nearby buildings, all the nearby sandstorms, they'd all come into mush. All the walls had fallen, all the shops had fallen. And at that time, no one could make any bricks. But the only person with bricks ready was who? Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji, Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji was the only person with bricks ready. So when they were going around to everyone else said, no, all of our machines have stopped working. The way we produce bricks, we can't do that anymore because of all of this floods and all the storm. But the only person who had bricks was Bhai Buddhu Shah Ji. So what happened was, they were still buying those half-broken bricks for the full rate, like Guru Sahib Ji said. And it made me think so much, like, no matter how much we get into, no matter how deep we fall, Maharaj is always going to protect us. Guru Sahib Ji always will be with us. That no matter what happens in our lives, no matter how many mistakes we're going to make, Maharaj is always going to hold our hand. And even in times like this, where we think, oh no, I'm making so many more mistakes, I'm getting more irritated, I'm getting more angry, Maharaj is always holding on to our hand. They're never ever going to let go. And that for me was a huge thing coming into Sikhi thinking. When you're in the world, who forgives you? No one ever cares about what you do right. They only care about what you do wrong. But Maharaj is the only person who doesn't care how many times you mess up. It's that one time you show prem, they will never let go of that. And that for me was a huge thing. And I remember at times at Thursday Simran as well, I'd drop a cup, or I'd drop like a plate, or we'd run around the house, or we stay too late. And I'm thinking, damn, they're gonna have a go at me. But no, they didn't care. They had no inclining whatsoever to send me home. They would never get angry at me. They would just say, you know what, this is our son. It's best to teach this person how to do something rather than have a go at them. And that same with Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, you see that translate into qualities in the South Sangat as well. Guru Mukhs do the same thing, huh? Guru meaning Guru Sahib Ji, Mukh meaning face. That person is facing Guru Sahib Ji. And so for me, it was a huge blessing to be blessed with so many people who can come in and give those qualities of Guru Sahib Ji, hopefully that we can learn on from as well. And I think that would not have come unless we were doing Sangat of Musket and doing Sangat of Babajis, because they were the people who showed us ourselves. Basically, one thing to read Gurbani, it's one thing to speak about Gurbani, it's another thing to live it, right? Because there's a lot of people who can die for Sikhi, but it's different for people who can live Sikhi, right? And Babaji is someone that, for me personally, was the first person that I saw, whoa, this person's fully living Sikhi to the point they gave up everything and fully just divert their whole life towards Guru Sikhi. Of course, it's different for someone like me to do that and someone like Babaji. Obviously, it's a big difference, but they're just set examples, you know? And that for me was like, whoa, like there's someone who's saying with everything that they say, they go and do it as well. Like if there's seva to do, they'll never turn the seva down. They'd rather not sleep or eat, and they'd go and do the seva first, complete that, and then come back to see anything else they want to attend for their personal needs. Like everything they thought of themselves was completely gone. And for me, that was huge, meeting Babaji like that. See someone who could actually live Sikhi rather than just talk about it. Because a lot of people who do Katha, a lot of people who speak Sikhi, a lot of people who tell other people off, claiming that they're wrong and this is wrong and that's wrong. But when you think about it, the person who speaks the least and lives Sikhi, that is the biggest person that I would touch their feet and say, you know what, this person is someone that I should be really following. Because there's a lot of people who put other people down to climb on top of them. But the one who really is a true Gurmukh, they will never put anyone down. They'll always put themselves down first. They'll put themselves down first, and they'll carry that person on top of themselves. And that's Babaji's for me. That was the whole Musket Sangat, and I realized, whoa, it's not just Babaji who does this. There's qualities of them that trickle down into people in South Sangat. And in the Musket Sangat, in the Sevali Sangat, in South Sangat, in basics, everywhere. South Sangat for me was like seeing these qualities of Guru Sahib just drop into people. I remember there was a Singh once who got blessed Amrit a few years ago. And after the Amrit Sanjar, he just started to have this prem for archery. And he started doing archery, and he became really, really good. And he would fire teers from miles and miles away, and he would hit bullseye each time, or he would hit any target. And I think he went to a Mahapuruk one time, and the Mahapuruk said that when you were in the Amrit Sanjar, Guru Gobind Singh Ji felt prasanna at the time, and then gave you their skill of archery. So like it's crazy to think that when you're on a Mahapuruk, sometimes you can just rub off. Their qualities can rub off into you, or their qualities can rub off into people who do their Sangat.
Maharaj even says in Gurbani, Maharaj says, Gurmere Sangat Sada Hai Nalle. That's what it is. Whether it's in Sangat Roop, Gurbani Roop, Maharaj is always around you, innit? And even if there's no one around you physically, you know Guru Sahib's there, man. You can always feel that, innit? And it's just, your life changes when you accept that. You know, like, especially with Mahapurush, man. Mahapurush are just something else. They take, you know, when you think that, like, yeah, you think like, oh, I'm a steady place in my Sikhi, man. My Sikhi's going well. Like, it's all good. And then a Mahapurush comes in and they just turn everything upside down. You're like, what am I doing with my life, man? Like, bruv, like, these people are so next level, man. And you don't want to leave them, man. And you know, Mahapurush are so amazing that, you know, they're always joining you to Guru Sahib, no matter what it is, whether it's just, it could be something as simple as putting tea, like sugar in tea or something, but to some person, it will mean like something like next level. It will mean, it's just crazy, man. Mahapurush are just amazing. If you ever get a chance to do darshan of Mahapurush, just hold them to their chan and don't let go, man. Mahapurush are just, it's just something else. Altogether.
It reminds me of a time, like, again, meeting Babaji's, meeting Sevali Sangat, you start to learn about other Mahapurukhs as well. And that's when Das found out about Bibaji Maharaj, Biba Nehal Kaurji Maharaj Ji, a massive Mahapurukh that obviously Guru Sahib Kirpa, hopefully so many more people can find out about, because some with so much prem, obviously being a Bibi as well, a lot of Bibiyan get sometimes pushed to the side wrongly as well. They get so, sometimes they're oppressed, right? Even in Sikhi, sometimes we see not Gurmukhs, but some people who say, oh no, you're a woman, you can't do this or that. But when you look at people like Bibaji Maharaj, that can really inspire upcoming Bibiyan who could think they want to do things at the front of the panth. And hopefully Guru Sahib Kirpa, we can all find out more about people like Bibaji Maharaj, and find out about people like Mata Sahib Kaurji, Maipa Gurji, Mata Gujri Ji. Guru Sahib Kirpa, they will do it themselves. And people like that, their kamai will never go missed. Guru Sahib Kirpa, they will do that. But it reminded me when Mahapurukh that I got found out from Sevale side was Sant Baba Ajit Singh Ji. And there was a time actually when there was a Singh who used to do a lot of praying of Sant Baba Ajit Singh Ji. And he lived in America. And when he used to come to Sant Baba Ajit Singh Ji, his whole family would come and they would do loads of seva of Babaji. And when they would go back, they'd always be phoning and thinking about Babaji, thinking about the next time they can come and see them. And what happened was, there was a time when he was at work in America, and Sant Baba Ajit Singh Ji was sitting in the Gurdwara Sahib, and they were with Baba Paramjit Singh Ji, who's there now, who does the seva now. And they said to him, have you got that Singh's number who lives in America? And Baba Paramjit Singh Ji said, Hanji, we've got his number. And they said, phone, come on, call him, I want to speak to him. So at that moment, Baba Paramjit Singh Ji phoned. I gave the phone to Baba Ajit Singh Ji, and Baba Ajit Singh Ji on the phone, they were speaking to the Singh and said, Singha, tu gaddi rokla. They said, Singh Sahib, you need to stop your car. And at the time, he was a truck driver. So what he did, he was on the highway and he stopped his truck. And Sant Baba Ajit Singh Ji said to him, you need to check the nuts, you need to check the bolts on the tire on the left-hand side of the car. They said it very specifically that this bolt on this side. And he goes, I just tightened them before I left. He said, no, just check it again. He got out of the car, he checked them, and when he checked them, they were all loose, about to fall off. And when he's tightened them, he said to him, Babaji, I can't believe this, like I just tightened them. And Babaji said that it was actually hukum for you to leave your body today. But because of the seva you've done, Maharaj has allowed you to carry on living for a few more years. And it was amazing to think that, like, meeting people like that who was so much compassion, so much daya, so much prem for someone who just comes and does seva, like you were saying, someone who just puts like a sugar in a cup or makes tea or something, that can change so much for you. And that is all about Guru Gobind Singh Ji. That's Guru Sahib Ji's giving. That's Mata Sahib God Ji's giving. That you can give that much, right? But Guru Sahib will give you that much back. Like you will walk in Matha Tek, and sometimes you can walk in Matha Tek for formality, but Guru Sahib Ji will still give you Kulle Pandar. They will give you so many treasures. And it's always that prem thinking, that endless love, you know, that endless love of Mata Sahib God Ji, that for us is never ever something that we can take for granted. And we can never take that for granted, that Mata Sahib God Ji, so much prem. And that's something like motherhood will make us realize, the movie as well, that the prem from Mata Sahib God Ji, the prem from Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji, and Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji, the Charan, that's not something that you can replace. That's something that you can ever just pick up from a shop. You can't even get friends who can give you that. That's something that only Maharaj can give you from Guru Prasad, you know. So that for me was a big thing, learning that like Mahaprabhu will always have your hand. Always, even through, no matter what happens, they'll always have your hand through good and bad times. And they'll always show you how to get through equally. So you don't see Sukh and Dukh, and you just see Guru Sahib Ji. And that was a massive thing.
Another thing I've learned from, you know, like, it kind of links into what you're saying now, doing Sangat of Mahapurush, is that Jinivi Seva, like, as much Seva as you can do, just carry on doing it, man. Like, it's like, you know, like a butter, yeah, just keep filling it. You know, like Mary Poppins' bag. Right. Your bag should not have a limit. Just carry on filling it, man. Take as much laha as you can in it. Right. And it's like, you know, and even with like in regards to like doing bintis and things like that, you know, like Guru Sahib, Maharaj, Mahapurush, they have like that much prem and that much like for their sangat. Like one of your bintis will never go unheard in it. And that's one thing that I realized, like, of doing Mahapurush with darshan of Mahapurush. And you know, like that sort of made me think as well. Like somebody else's whole lifetime, what Maharaj planned for the whole lifetime, because Maharaj has that much pyar for you, they're not gonna like deny your request in whatever you did, whatever your binti was, and that could change everything in it. So like one thing that I always think of as well when I do darshan of Mahapurush or everything, like any binti that you do, like make sure that it's like worthwhile in it. Don't like do it as something petty or small, because if you waste it, man, you could be changing somebody else's whole lifetime in it, but you're getting that one cushy that you wanted.
No, I agree. No, it's so important that meaning not just Mahaprabhu as well, but even people who are trying in their Sikhi in some sort of way, in a small way, like people who maybe are someone who's a Mona or someone who doesn't know much about Sikhi, never should look down upon people like that, no? Because you never know what their story is. You never know what they've gone through to get to where they are, you know? And that is always that's another thing that I met from Mahaprabhu as well. Not just in Sant Baba Karandeep Singh Ji, Sant Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji Sangat, but people like Sant Baba Fauja Singh Ji. When I was Guru Sahib Ji's Kripa doing their Sangat as well, there was a Mona who walked in, and obviously Das Guru Sahib's Kirpa never shown any amnesty to anyone who was a Munna, because Das is a Munna themselves, you know. Das is a Munna. This is just Guru Sahib's that they've decided to give to. I'm always going to be a Munna. But when that Singh was sitting there, that Munna Singh, I was just talking to him normally, and then one of the other Singhs came up to me and goes, "Bro, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Babaji just did a bhajan that he was a massive surma in his past life." And I was thinking, "Whoa, like you never know who anyone is." And marriage is so beyond that they can just change anything. And like, especially in Mahaprabhu Sangat, you'll always feel so much prem and pyar for no matter what you've done, no matter how many mistakes you've made. And that's a massive thing. That's all Mata Sahib God is giving, Hana. That Mataji always gave so much that never ever held anything back. Like there's another thing that we don't think about much, is that there was a time when the Khalsa, this Khalsa full of Tyar Bar Tyar Singhs and Singh that we look at now as well, back then even more so, was led by a Bibi for 40 years. And Jungs were fought. Let's not think it was just, oh, Singh, they're doing nothing. Mataji got people ready, giving motivational speeches. They were right at the front, giving them Shastra, teaching them Gatka, doing all these things. Santya, everything was big. It was even Mata Gujriji who was teaching Santya at point as well. There was as an Ittihas as well, Mata Gujriji taught Santya. There were so many Bibiyan that go unsaid. Now, this is why motherhood and the movie itself is so important, that we start to understand that it's not just Singhs and Guru Sahib Ji, because Guru Sahib Ji, of course, Atal, of course, 100%, Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji. But Guru Sahib Ji gave us Gursikhs for a reason as well, to show us how to live Gursikh, you know? And people as high as Mata Sahib Gaur Ji, even if there isn't anyone as high as them, when you look at Mata Sahib Gaur Ji and their Kamai and what they did, and like fighting Jungs, being a Bibi back then, like, is a huge thing, you know? And then that translates into giving that biras to more Bibiyan, my Pagoji, Mata Jito Ji, so many people that we just look at and take for granted. We might not know about them, we know their names, but it's so important that we understand that we should take something from each person that we see, whether they are Munne, whether they are Amritari, whether they're not, whether they're different Taram, whatever they are. It's really important that we always show prema and satkar to everyone, you know? And that's something that will translate when you come into Sadh Sangat and do Sadh Sangat more. Of course, when we're talking about our journeys, it's really important that we always give something for someone else to take into their own lives. So we obviously have felt the prem and the pyar from Sadh Sangat a lot, but there'll be some people who will feel more inclined to do seva, and that's completely fine as well. But you'll feel that, you'll get that given to you by Sadh Sangat, right? You could just be sitting there and someone comes up to you and say, "Bro, do you want to do Pandya seva? Bro, do you want to clean the windows? Bro, do you want to do Langar seva?" That will come in Sadh Sangat, you know? That's why Sadh Sangat is so important. It kind of holds everything together. So there was actually something that happened a few weeks ago. It was Simran will make you realize Sikhi within yourself. Then you've got Seva will start to make you experience Sikhi, but Sadh Sangat will keep you on Sikhi. And for me, it was like, whoa, like how did that go amiss? I should have done Sadh Sangat a long time ago. No? All this berag and everything that came from the beginning, Sadh Sangat just kept you together. So it was always a big blessing to be blessed with Sadh Sangat. And Marriage Kirpa, hopefully we can always be blessed with Sadh Sangat. Always be blessed to keep Sadh Sangat in our lives somehow. And now Marriage only would do that themselves when they're happy. So it's a huge blessing to have Sadh Sangat. And even now, there's 41 people watching. Like, that's huge Sadh Sangat. That's a massive thing. That's something that goes unsaid. Like 41 people. Sometimes how many people come into a Gatha, right? So we're all sitting here together. We're all one big Sangat family. There's about 45 of us together now. And there's so much prem, so much pyar that goes into just sitting here watching someone and talking to people. So if you guys want to say anything, drop anything in the comments or anything like that. Any questions you have, please feel free. Gurjeevan Singh Ji, I'm sure, has a Sakhi as well for us, I think, for us to share all together.
In regards to the Sakhi, a little bit of a funny one. I did have a Sakhi prepared, but Abji have already shared it. So out of all the Sakhis, we managed to find the same one. So, but one thing that just came into my mind as well, and I was listening to you, is that it's a thing that Dilraj Chacha used to say, and they said it I think a few times in Qatar. They said, you know, like a lot of people, like we walk around with like a chip on our shoulder nowadays, innit? Jida maan hunda, main jatya or I'm messing ya, you know, like, but they're not even living the life. And the Dilraj Chacha used to say, don't be proud, be grateful, innit? Be grateful that Guru Sahib blessed you with what you are or who you are or what you've got. Like, be happy for that, innit? And literally to reiterate that, I think Tantam Bibanhal Koji said themselves, they said, Waheguru, Maafiji, 1 second.
Waheguru, I think
they said,
Sandeep Singh Ji has joined, from what I'm
Waheguru.
reading, which is, Waheguru, that's crazy. So look at the
What
South
Bibaji said is they say practice, practice, practice. Saints say gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Let's practice gratitude, innit?
Right.
So that just reiterates it, man. Like I used to do wrestling when I was younger, and my wrestling coach was a Macedonian guy. He's short, stubby, funny guys you'll ever meet. And when we were doing our wrestling, he used to swear and stuff, and it was like it was out of the yard that he had like to motivate us in it, and it was quite. I actually really enjoyed it. It was quite funny. And he used to say to us, he's like, "You lot are losers, man." He's like, "What you lot doing? This is rubbish, man. You lot better pick up your standards, innit?" And then one thing he always used to say to us is, "You're living off your ancestors' history. You lot think you're great now today. You're so proud, but you're only proud of what your ancestors did.
Right.
Like you should be grateful for what they did, man, because you are what you are today because of what they did, innit? It's not like, oh, like I'm like that guy, bro. Like I'm so sick. Like we're so sick, bro. This is us." It's like, thank those people, man. Like, thank those people that have done this much and made so many big kurbaniya to get us to where we are today, to get us to the place where Mahapurush can be like releasing movies about Mata Sahib Koji, educating younger generations through a platform that they understand, an animation platform. Like you look at today, there's some kids in the house, innit? Even like everywhere, all kids want to do, especially in lockdown now, is like cartoons, man. Let's just sit down and watch some cartoons, innit?
Right.
Why not? If we have the tools to make it and put it to us in a way that a format that they will enjoy, why not, man? Let's just do it, innit? Just carry on. It's just, especially now with digital, like everything going digital, and there's so much seva that can be done in it in a new way that hasn't been done before. We should just take laha, man, and be grateful. Like, let's drop all of this, like, oh, I'm a singer, like, this proud act, in it. Just be grateful, man. Like, it's so, for the Sangat, for the Sikhi, for the Simran,
just holding on to
for everything, in it.
Holy Maharaj, keep it like that as well. Chalo, Sadh Sangat ji, Tanwad so much for blessing us with the darshan, blessing us with the seva. If any mistakes have been made, please forgive us. I know we all hold on to your charan, and we beg for charan tur so soon. Maharaj Kripa Karan, we can get this lockdown can finish, so charan tur can be applied so much quicker. Maharaj Kripa Karan. Thank you everyone for joining. Please get involved with Sadh Sangat when you get back. Please keep on getting involved with different stuff. There's motherhood will be keep doing things. Many other things will be happening. DJing, basics, everyone's doing it. Please don't hesitate.
If anybody would like to get involved with the motherhood movie, don't be afraid to contact them. There's so much seva to be done. The movie's almost done. Like, there's not much left of it now, but there's still so much seva to be done. So, like, don't be afraid to jump in with both feet, man. Just get it done, bro. This seva, like, even now, the movie, like we were just saying, there's so many new ways to do seva. Let's just indulge ourselves in them fully and, like, just carry on, man. Just take laha fully.
Tanwad Maharaji, thank you everyone so much. We wish you go on forever, but I think there's a limit, 44 seconds left. So thank you so much for everything. Please keep blessing us with your season. Please keep
forgive us for any mistakes we made.
And keep blessing us with your darshan. Keep doing abhyas, everyone. Don't lose hope. Keep doing things. Keep doing keep smashing out Amrit Villa Maharaj Ang Sang Sahai. Keep on going, okay? It's only a short period of time. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Charan are so close, man. They're so close. We can literally see them now.